Back in the program with speaker and award-winning author Debora Coty. Again, her brand new book is called Too Loved to Be Lost. All right, so what about this longing in a woman's heart to just feel cherished? You have some thoughts in the book as to how we can learn to feel that way.
Yes, I do, and I think it's important for us to notice. We have to actually make ourselves notice Papa God's fingerprints on our lives, because otherwise we just merely go on our way considering things, oh, that's nice that happened. Oh, what a good coincidence. Oh, I'm so lucky today. But we need to realize that these are all things that Papa God is doing. He is responsible for these grace notes in our lives. I began calling them grace notes based on my 20 years of teaching piano lessons. And the grace notes are those teeny little notes beside the regular music notes that aren't really essential to the melody, but they add breadth and depth and beauty to the music. And that's what Papa God's grace notes are to us. They're physical demonstrations of His love for us. And some examples I put in my book, I have just so many. One of them was my friend Cheryl was pushing her baby down in a stroller down one of the sidewalks in our neighborhood when she suddenly looked up and saw a pit bull running toward her with a rope tied around its neck. And she knew about this dog. We all know about this dog. Yeah. It's not a nice dog. It's very aggressive and unpredictable, and it's usually tied up in the owner's backyard. But he had apparently broken loose, and he was heading right for Cheryl. So she absolutely panicked. Cheryl is a good prayer warrior buddy friend of mine. We are in the same Bible group that we started for our neighborhood. We started a Bible study. And Cheryl sees this big, giant dog closing in fast with her baby in the stroller. So she shot up a rhino in the road prayer for protection, and she didn't have time to do anything else but throw herself in front of her baby carriage and just steel herself, waiting for the attack. Yeah. And just as that dog drew near to Cheryl and the baby, he passed a street sign. And that flailing rope that was tied around his neck flew out and wrapped around the pole and yanked him to a dead stop there.
Oh, my.
And isn't that an awesome story? That's just an example of the grace notes. I mean, she could have said to herself, oh, I was just so lucky. But she knew that was Papa God's fingerprints and that He was telling her that He is there, He's aware, and He cares about her. And I think that is the way we women can really, really feel treasured and cherished, is if we recognize Papa God's grace notes in our lives. I have a lot more examples in the book. I don't know if you have time for me to tell anymore.
Well, let's have one more, because that was just so invigorating to hear that story. So share another one.
Well, this one gives me God bumps personally, because it happened to me, and it was just such a wonderful thing. But I was speaking at a women's group about one of my favorite topics. It was chocolate. We were celebrating chocolate, and it was a large church. And about 6 weeks prior to the event, they started advertising for it and selling tickets. And many, many prayers had gone up for the Lord to bless this community outreach event so that women who were not necessarily interested in attending church or a, quote, religious service would come to celebrate chocolate. And so a week before the event, 400 tickets had been sold. And each table, they were going to have tables of 8, round tables, and they had ordered these 50 very, very fancy chocolate layer cakes from a local bakery to serve as the centerpieces. And these were not just your run-of-the-mill cakes. They were beautiful. They were just chocolate curls and doodads and ornate decorations everywhere.
Okay, you've got to stop describing that cake, or I'm gonna have a mutiny here. I'm gonna have to leave the studio and go get me some chocolate.
They were just culinary masterpieces, you know. So they had ordered these 50 cakes. And then during the days just right before this event, a whole rush of ticket orders came in, and the ladies just didn't want to turn anyone away. So they ordered another 5 cakes, but they were going to have to pick them up like a couple of hours before the program started. So as the designated cake picker-upper drove to the bakery on the afternoon of the event, on her way, she received a frantic call from the church. And they said, you know, we just sold 10 more last-minute tickets. We need another cake. And so she knew that there was no way the bakery could make another cake that fast. So she prayed about it. She said, I don't know what we're going to do here, Lord. Maybe if they just have any kind of chocolate cake at all, then we'll use that. So that's what she prayed. And then as she got there, she waited for the lady in the hairnet and the white apron to box up her cakes, the 5 that she was picking up, and she looked around the display cases, and there were no chocolate cakes, nothing.
Oh.
And so she turned to the lady as she handed her the cakes, and she said, I hate to ask this, but is there anything you can do to make us another chocolate cake? We just had one more. We need a 56th cake. And this woman stared at her a minute, and then this huge smile spread across her face, and she said, I'm the baker, and I have a surprise for you.
Ooh.
And she disappeared into the back room, and in a couple minutes she reappeared holding one beautifully decorated chocolate cake exactly like the other 55.
Oh, my.
And she said, something told me I should make an extra cake.
Oh, I love that.
Isn't that awesome? Papa God just always gives me God bumps with these stories.
I know. Oh, I could listen to stories like that all day long because that is the kind of God that we have that just likes to bless us that was not like an earth-shattering thing. Like if you didn't have that one extra cake, it would not have been the death of the event but I just love how God sometimes takes small little things just to say, I see you. I love you. I just want to bless you with another chocolate cake, right?
Exactly, and it brings this huge smile to your face and sometimes even tears to my eyes because I do feel cherished and I do feel loved because I have noticed these grace notes and that he is there, he's aware, and he cares.
I love that. Okay, we're going to take our very last break. When we come back, I want to touch on a couple of other topics here. One is how to develop trust in God. Because maybe some people listening, some women have had people that have not been trustworthy who have broken their trust. And maybe they're having a hard time trusting God that he will love them unconditionally, that he will be there, that they can kind of just release their anxieties and fears and trust him. And you know what I mean? So let's tackle that one in just a moment. Debora Coty, my guest, her book is called Too Loved to Be Lost.